In this movie, we're going to examine the range of options available for interfacing with the MySQL engine, which is where all the nuts and bolts of our MySQL administration will go on. In order to connect with the MySQL engine, we need some form of client software. And the most readily available form of client software for MySQL is the Mysql Monitor. It's also the most basic, as you can see from this screen grab. You simply type in commands which are made of a mixture of structured query language and certain MySQL keywords and functions, and the data is displayed like so. This is not the most user-friendly of interfaces, but it is a very fast, efficient, and it is the standard that is approved by MySQL itself. However, there are some alternatives, such as graphical user interface applications that have been developed to give MySQL a more friendly face. One of the earliest of these is MySQL GUI, which is an official MySQL release, and although this is quite a basic interface, it provides a much more friendly interface than the MySQL Monitor. There's also a product called MySQL Front, which I use from time to time, and that is a lot more sophisticated and slick than the MySQL GUI product. However, MySQL Front has a big disadvantage in that it's only available for Microsoft Windows. So that cuts out a large percentage of MySQL users. There is another product, and this is another official MySQL release, and that's called MyCC, or My Control Center, and this is again a very sophisticated and advanced front for MySQL. The problem with this one at the moment is that it's still under development. It's only at alpha stage, so it may well not be completely dependable at this stage, and very likely there are plenty of bugs to be found and so on. However, this will no doubt prove to be a good option in the future. There are many more graphical user interfaces, far too many to list here, and the URL that I've written down over here is where you can look them up. And this includes not just official MySQL graphical user interface releases, but also a lot of third-party products, some of which are available at no cost, and some of which are available as shareware, and some which are full commercial applications. The other alternative for interfacing with the MySQL engine is to use a web administration system. Now, how these typically work is that they're a collection of scripts written in a server-side scripting language such as Perl or PHP, and these administrative systems allow the developer to use an administration system within their browser that runs simply as a set of scripts. This allows the administrator to make whatever changes they want to these scripts, of course, and is a very efficient way of handling MySQL data, particularly if it's already up on the web. A very good example of web administration system is Php Myadmin, and this is a collection of PHP scripts that allow you to administer your database and add data and alter the structure of your database, and this is a very good system, Php Myadmin. However, of course it's limited to using PHP, but with the ready availability of PHP and the fact that it's an open source scripting language, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. There are a couple of others, Data Manager, MySQL Data Manager, and NetBuilder, and there are no doubt many more. I can't really speak for either of these two products because I haven't actually tested them. These screenshots are just from the demonstrations available online. It would be worthwhile investigating different kinds of web administration interfaces if you're into that kind of idea. The only one I can thoroughly recommend is Php Myadmin. However, in this course, we're not going to be using any kind of graphical user interface or any kind of web administrative system for the most part. In the main, we're going to be using the MySQL Monitor. And the reason for this is that, well, there are two reasons. First of which is that everybody has this. When you install MySQL, you install the MySQL Monitor, and that's available to every user of MySQL, whatever platform they're running on. And it's also not a third-party piece of software, which most of these other graphical user interfaces and administrative systems are. And so I don't want to make this course dependent on some third-party piece of software. The other, more important reason is that you should really learn to use MySQL using the monitor, because you may very well find that when you come to use it in the workplace, you may not immediately have access to the graphical user interface that you've chosen to use at home, and so you might find yourself in an embarrassing situation if you're dependent on some third-party tool or some graphical user interface and you're not seen to be using the MySQL raw, as it were. I should say that seen to be is the key phrase in that sentence because, of course, the MySQL Monitor is simply another client. The fact that it is the most basic and the official client doesn't mean that it's any different from any other kind of client that you could use. However, it is the official client, and so it's the one that we're going to be using throughout this course. Once you become familiar with using the MySQL Monitor, you may find it more convenient and comfortable to use any one of the alternatives that I've listed in this movie. In our next chapter, we're going to get to the brass tacks of creating a database and what a database is.